Researchers found that replaying an embarrassing memory activates the exact same part of your brain as physical pain, not a similar region. The same one. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between getting hurt and cringing at something you said 3 years ago. And here's the part that should bother you. You didn't choose to remember that moment. It just showed up. Maybe you were lying in bed trying to sleep. Maybe you were in the shower. Maybe you were doing absolutely nothing. And suddenly, your brain decided right now was the perfect time to remind you of something embarrassing from years ago. So why is it doing this? And why does it always happen at night? The answer involves a system inside your brain that most people have never heard of. And once you understand what it's actually doing, the way you see your own memory completely changes. Let's start with what happens the moment your brain goes quiet. When you stop focusing on something, when you're not working, not reading, not in a conversation, your brain doesn't rest. It switches into a completely different mode. Scientists call it the default mode network. Think of it as your brain's background processing system. It runs automatically whenever you're not actively doing something. And its entire job is to review your life. It scans your memories, replays recent events, and looks for anything that hasn't been resolved yet. But here's where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't treat all memories the same way. Memories with strong emotions attached to them get flagged as high priority. And one of the strongest emotional tags your brain uses is the feeling you get when you think you've made a mistake in front of other people. Scientists call these self-conscious emotions: embarrassment, guilt, regret. These emotions exist for one very specific reason: to teach you how to behave in a group. Because for most of human history, being rejected by your group meant not surviving. So your brain learned to treat social mistakes as seriously as physical threats. When something embarrassing happens, your brain flags that memory immediately. It stores it with extra intensity, and then your default mode network keeps pulling it back up. Because as far as your brain is concerned, that memory contains a warning it needs to keep reviewing. Now here's the question most people never think to ask. Why does it get worse at night? Why is 3 in the morning when your brain decides to replay that one thing you said to someone 2 weeks ago? The answer is your prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain responsible for logic and keeping your thoughts on track. During the day, when you're active and focused, your prefrontal cortex is running at full power. It keeps distracting memories pushed aside. It keeps you moving forward. But at night, when you're winding down, your prefrontal cortex starts to quiet. Its grip on your thoughts loosens, and your default mode network gets more freedom to run. The memories your brain has been trying to process all day finally get a clear path to the surface. So the reason it happens at night isn't bad luck. It's timing. Your brain's review system waited all day for this window, and now it's using it. Now here's something that most people don't realize. There's actually a name for what you're experiencing. Researchers call them involuntary autobiographical memories, and studies show almost everyone has them regularly. You're not unusual for experiencing this. Your brain is just doing exactly what it was built to do. But here's the part that changes everything. Your brain keeps replaying these memories because it thinks the situation is unresolved. Every time the memory surfaces, your brain is asking one question: have we figured this out yet? And most people's response is to push it away, to think about something else, to change the subject inside their own head, which tells your brain, no, not resolved. Try again later. And so it does. You're accidentally training your brain to keep the memory active by refusing to face it. So what actually works? The research points to a technique called cognitive diffusion. Instead of fighting the memory, you let it arrive. You notice it. You don't react to it. Some researchers describe it as watching your own thoughts from a distance instead of living inside them. When the memory shows up, instead of cringing and pushing it away, you just observe it. You tell your brain, yes, I see that, I hear you, and then you return to what you were doing. Done consistently, this signals to your brain that the situation has been acknowledged. The memory starts losing its urgency. It still shows up sometimes, but it stops feeling like an alarm. It starts feeling like background noise, and eventually it fades. So the next time your brain decides to replay something you wish you could forget, remember what's actually happening. Your brain isn't being cruel. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's protecting you from a threat it doesn't know has already passed. The cringe is your brain saying, I'm still watching out for you. And honestly, that's kind of remarkable, even if the timing is terrible. What's the most random moment your brain likes to replay? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe to Whisper Files for more things your brain never told you.